Pigments of primaries blended across nations. My foundations are so clear your paths, lay down your long hair.
All right, get it.
Congratulations on the release of Woman. Such a great and inspirational song. What was the hardest part for you putting together the final tracks for Sankofa?
The hardest tracks. I mean, the hardest part about it. I think the hardest part is just trying to sometimes coordinate schedules with some of the collaborators. So that I think that's the hardest part. As far as putting it together, it's all fun, and it's just that I guess if there's anything hard about it, is choosing the songs to go on it. It's like, oh, but this and that because I left so many off. So that's going to be a part of something else, maybe a
Okay.
continuation of sorts, or I don't know, something like that. But it's that would be the hardest part, probably. Some of those I mentioned.
That's a good problem to have.
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah.
All I am is because of her. She is a queen of mine.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the Sankofa interludes. What made you incorporate these, and how did your dad end up on one of
Well, it wouldn't be complete without him. On
those? Okay.
book ending, front and back. Because my parents they saw something in me that when I was very young, and they really encouraged that and protected that and surrounded me around people who were influential mentors and extended family members who helped grow me up, groom me. Um, but really, really important. It's just instilling all these things in me, about Black culture, about self, because I'm a child of that time that they were, um, just very involved in the civil rights movement and that kind of thing. So I'm I guess, a civil rights child, of that time. Like a lot of us, and a lot of these things were instilled in me. So I just thought it apropos for him to be on it for sure. Yeah.
Ain't no other option but to do it, do it, do it, do it. Come on. Running, I'm blind, now show me that vibrant side. Trying to get wild, baby, I'm a vibrant side. I need you on the dance floor.
Right now, it's a really great time to record with her, not only with her being an amazing artist, but her latest number one samples the Minneapolis sound. As a musician and vocalist, tell us in your words what made you want to work with
Same reason you love her.
her.
But in
Simple.
my words, she's she's part of the future. No, I mean, she's an amazing artist, amazing not only singer, not only lyricist, but I love her musicianship as well. The fact that she plays guitar. I love women doing just stuff because things we don't usually see women doing. Not that there haven't been, women musicians and all that. I just love them in the forefront. Me personally, I like that, and she represents that to me. And the elevation of the art of it all. In R&B, I'm sure she do many other things, but she's technically great. And I pay attention to all the little detail things. I love the texture of her voice, the texture of her production, you know, everything. She just, man, I even love her whole concept of putting the music first. The music is the star. That's why you wouldn't see her with the, hair. She was in her first little marketing things that she had. You saw like a silhouette. You didn't know it was a girl, it was her. Some of us who know her name, but that's not important. The music is what she wanted to let you know. So I really vibrated with that, and I'm like, man, that's she got it.
It's not just easy come, easy go. It's a waterfall of pure emotion, baby. Oh, hypnotic.
Our favorites on the album are Lost and Boo. Can you tell me how concepts like those came into
But
creation?
say it again.
Lost and Voodoo are some of our favorites. Can
Oh
you tell
yeah.
us how concepts like those came into creation?
Why is Lost your favorite? Let me ask you that. I'm curious.
Just the sound of it, the feel of it, just kind of what it brings to the album. It feels good. It feels good for us.
Good. Absolutely, and that's the. I just feel like it seems like we are lost. We've been lost for a long time, but I think reflecting on this pandemic and reflecting in this pandemic as well has really brought some things closer into focus, you know. And not that we haven't known we've been lost, we're finding out just how lost, not only us, but a lot of people, all of us, you know, and having to get back to some basic things just to help us find our way again. You know what I mean? So speaking to all of us, you know, specifically in Black culture, and the melanated peoples of the earth have a little bit different experience with the world than most people who are not. So I speak from that perspective first. You know, it definitely applies to all, but got to start from somewhere. So now I'm starting from what I know, my neighborhood, my community, my culture, and then it spreads all around because we're all human, right? So it comes from that, and just the simple fact of being lost in all of this distortion and all these distractions and trying to figure out what's real and what's not. All this information coming at us nonstop, it's relentless, and trying to figure out what to eat and what to leave on the plate. You know what I mean? So all these things definitely were coming to me. I'm like, man, I'm like, wow, we gotta figure this thing out. So having to reflect and, being lost in it is just something I wanted to, it was my offering, the way that it flowed through me and give it to y'all. So I like that you dig it.
For sure.
All right. And voodoo is just like voodoo's kind of fun, and it's mystic, it's spiritual. And people look at voodoo as a negative connotation. They're always using, put all that voodoo on me, but that's just like people, it's kind of like somebody who's in tune with the divine. That's all that really means. Just like this whole thing that white supremacist thinking has put on us. They made that up. You know what I mean? It wasn't a bad thing. It's just like people who know about the earth, people who know about herbs, people know about, all these different things, It'd be no different than than our native brothers and sisters when they do the rain dance. He just knew the smell when rain was coming. He knew what that meant, and he put that together. So did a rain dance, like, that's bad. No, I just put it together. It's kind of divine, and that was kind of scientific. But on the spiritual side, voodoo, I think it's just a beautiful thing, man. I just use it in relation to male-female relationship and having that power. It's like, man, I can't control myself, which is a good thing because you're connected to this person, this other human being. So I meant it, for those who are like, well, voodoo is a bad thing. No, that's not the real thing. So, and a great connotation, and a good connotation, that's how I mean it. I wrote that with Shakespeare. Amazing team of writers who I often court with writing wise. So yeah, glad y'all like.
Awesome. Now, yes, we do.
So Cleopatra, let down your long hair. Vanilla almond coconut accent. Don't need a crystal ball to know it all. It'd be a cold world without a woman. Yeah,
so Sankofa has a story and a history in itself. What is the most important thing that you want listeners to take away from the album after listening to it?
Just that they're a part of Sankofa without having known it. It's a concept that keeps giving, a gift that keeps giving, because it's a Ghanaian terms, people didn't know, which means to go back and get it. And if you look at this, there's a symbol for it. It's a Sankofa bird, and it's looking back while traveling forward. And that reminds me of the old saying, to know where you're going, then know where you came from, that kind of thing. And if you look at the Sankofa bird, there's also an egg. It's looking back, and that just reminds me of information that you're bringing forward. So all these things that are in there symbolizes a lot. But that's what it means to go back and get it. So for this album, for me, I have a journey. I start from one place, which would be African drums and dance and that whole cultural aspect. But it started there, and it kind of weaves itself throughout the whole Sankofa CD. But I go through vibes of like 70s, 80s. It feels like that, like with Cascade feels 80s-ish, Vibrant with Snoop Dogg feels like definitely a 90s thing, because I missed that roller skating fun thing. I just did what I love. There's a song on there called Jeopardy, Verbalized. which has a 70s kind of, I don't know, stylistics-esque kind of thing on it. And there's stuff that just sounds like the future. I don't know what it sounds like. You know, when people mention voodoo, they said, man, it's kind of got a bluesy thing, it's got a reggae thing, it's got a trap thing, it's got all these things weave through it, you know. No, I don't know if that's answering your question. I start going on to something else.
No, it is. You're fine.
You remind me of something else. I want to, yeah.
You're fine. Why was that important to you, especially now, like in our time of music, to incorporate?
Because of everything going on, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, you already know, but you want to hear me say,
yeah.
But yeah, because of all the viruses that are happening. You know, the pandemic, the George Floyd stuff that happened, which we know had been happening. So it's very necessary. There are things on here that I had to, you just have to address. And it's like an artist is supposed to reflect the times. And we all are different kinds of, there's different types of soldiers. You know, you have political soldiers, you have people, street soldiers, you know, that are speaking for the community, that kind of thing. You know, I'm an artist soldier in the way that I can contribute, and I live in the world. I don't believe when people talk about, well, I hate entertainers, you know, getting political. It's like, well, we live in the world. Everything's about politics. Excuse me, are you making laws about me, my family? We should have a say. So yes, I'm gonna say something, you know. So yeah, we're all affected by it. So I mean, it's very important. You know, we live in the world, so we got to voice up, step up, pull up, and do the best we can to change things for the better. You know, so it's here. It's very important. Everything that's going on. This is my offering, how it's filtered through me. You know.
Awesome. Now you've become very known and celebrated for your live shows by fans and artists alike. What are some elements that you feel make a great stage show?
Practice, rehearsal. That's number one for sure. You know, and it's a lot of thought, a lot of time, and I've had a lot of practice only by myself. But you know, just looking at the standards that I remember growing up, or people that I've known, you know, what they put into it. We've seen, you know, grew up with James Brown, some of us, and Prince and Michael, and know that it takes work. Not only that, just with anything that you do, if you want to be great, if you want to look at entertainment or even sports, people always use the Michaels, you know, Tyson or Jordan, you know, or Jackson, as far as music goes, and doing the things that no one else would do to get that. I mean, look at somebody like Beyonce. It takes work. You know what I mean? I always tell, you know, younger people, like, you're like, how can I get there? It's like, I ain't got that much time. I was like, you ain't that much time. The quickest way to get there, the most thorough way, is to do the work. You know, there's no substitute for that. You got to put in the time, man. And people know that. And I think a lot of athletes are seeing that through, you know, social media, and they're seeing these clips and, you know, all of these quips and, you know, sayings, which is great. But that's the one thing there's no substitute for. You got to put in the work and stay engaged, because it's relentless. And be detailed in whatever your intention is. Put that forward. What it is that you want to see at the end of what you want people to take away. For me, I want people to be inspired, you know, whether they, you know, whatever life has for them, whether it's they want to laugh, or they want to cry, whether they want to contemplate something, or they want to be lifted up from something they're going through, you know. You should leave a little bit differently than when you came in, you know what I mean? But on a positive note, you know what I mean? Or just, you know, or just make you think about it. So I think, again, practicing, staying engaged with as many elements of the live show as possible, you know.
You mentioned the late great Prince. In part our last conversation, we spoke about a conversation you and Prince had about performing in the city of Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. So we have to ask, when will we receive a Minneapolis show from Stokley?
Hopefully sooner than later. It'll probably be next year, you know, because we're still trying to figure out, number one, the logistics of everything that are going on with, you know, with every venue, with you know, where we're at in life with this whole COVID thing. So that's number one. Number two, it doesn't look like anything is going to happen. Nobody's moving until next year.
Yeah.
Just so there's some, practical and logistical things that we have to deal with first. But hopefully sooner than later, I'm waiting.
Okay.
I think once the album is out, we can all learn the songs and sing them together once we come together. It'll
Okay.
be
All right.
great.
Well, we'll definitely be there to support you. We're looking forward to it. So
Yes.
now
Yeah.
tell us, how do you think growing up in Minnesota prepared you, if at all, for your career in entertainment and your artistry?
I think so. I think even though living here in the Midwest, as opposed to like one of the coast kind of thing, where we lose some possible gains, opportunities just because there's more of it. And I think that it shielded us at the same time. It made us, there were not as many distractions as there are like in LA or somewhere like that. It's cold. So you want inside, hunkered down, doing what it is that you're doing, exercising that muscle, and that was really helpful. And just having, sometimes nothing to do except stay focused, because you were forced to do that. I mean, as far as that. And then sometimes the fact that it is the middle of America, sometimes, a lot of crowds, certain things would go over their head. So I think we worked harder because we weren't doing enough. We weren't getting the kind of energy back that we thought, same as we were giving out. So it made us do all these different things and develop a show that was very entertaining, because every 20 seconds there was something going on, whether visually or audio wise, something, So I think that really made me very aware of performance, of what the crowd will see. Is a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, this is an interview right now. We have a conversation because you wanted to hear my words. But if there's some thoughts and you chime in when you feel like you have something to say, it's like, oh, okay, you elevate the conversation to another place. And yeah, this is the moment, man. Sorry, people want to come in. Stop.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Who are your top 3 female vocalists that you'd like to do a duet with?
Top 3. Well, okay, we have categories because we have people that are standards, that the legacy artists, I guess they'll say, like Shaka, like Stevie, people like that. Who else? I don't know, I just have singer people that, I would say I do like let's see. There's a lot of people singing that. Maybe you said 3 artists?
3 female vocalists, yeah.
3 female vocalists. I do like Alex Isley. I do like young, she's an Isley. But she's really,
okay.
Yeah. Have you heard of her?
I haven't.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm gonna look into her though.
Yeah, look into it. Yeah, she's really, really, she's plays and everything, keyboards, and a great musician. I definitely like her voice. Of course, oh man, you can say, give me 3. Whew. Of course, I love Lettucey. Man, there is a young lady named Tiana Major 9. She's British. And
she's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Man, I'm trying to, I don't know. Why you put me on the spot like that?
Well, that was 3, so we'll take those.
3? I know. I'm just, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's so many. I have a lot more, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take those. What do you want to leave your fans with?
Inspiration, energy, focus, determination. I want them to feel all those things, I want them to feel like they can do it, whatever it is that they're looking to do. Just to give them more energy. That's what it is. When people come to see their favorite artist, they're coming to celebrate life. Let the hair hang down a little bit, let it, and then just to get filled up again with energy, because that's all it is in there. Let's see people smiling. Let's see people dancing. Let's see people and hear people singing, and just having a good time, just fellowship and meeting friends, seeing people who you haven't seen in a long time, or, celebrating and rediscovering the person you're with through song. I want them to experience all that when they come and see me, to remind them of themselves, how good things can be, as well as all the other stuff we live inside that. So that's a lot, but I think there's a lot of energy that I give. There's a lot of different moods that I give. There's a lot of different subjects that I give. So, and just to remind them some stuff of things, because I sing my own stuff. I sing, at this point, I cover Mint Condition. I'm part of the group, some of that stuff. And I also always do throwbacks for, from other people. That's the shoulders I stand upon. So I got to, give a nod to the past. There's always going to be that. So those are some of the elements that I always surround, that are in the show, whatever city I'm in. So from all of that, I want them to take all those things I mentioned and elevate, just add it to your psyche.
Awesome. Now, again, it is always a pleasure to speak to you. It is always an honor to speak to you. You are an amazing talent, and we're grateful that you are still in this thing. Whether we're gonna take you however we get you, in a group, individual, we will always take it, and we thank you for continuing to pour into us. And so, congratulations on this album and on this project and everything else, the part 2 and all that's coming from it with all that music you created.
Yes. Oh my Lord, this is Stokley here. I am so proud to be here this is the 15th year anniversary of Urban Bridges. I'm so proud. Again, it's their second interview, and this is just amazing. May you go another 15 more, and a 15 after that, and 15 after that, and expand and expand. Happy 15th anniversary, Urban Bridges.
Thank you so much. We genuinely appreciate it.
Yes.
Hope to be talking to you again. This won't be the last time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Awesome. All right.